I was thinking the other day, I met you guys. We were working back to back at Ralph Stanley's Bluegrass Festival on Smith Ridge in McClure, Virginia, about a dozen years ago.
Yes, sir.
I think that's the first time that I got to see what you guys are all about, and we've been friends ever since. I'm glad to welcome in Chris and Taylor Malpass from Goldsboro, North Carolina. How you doing?
Thank you. We're great and honored to be here with you.
Well, glad you got to stop in. Now, you and all the boys can learn. Put that app on your phone if you want to hear Hag and the Louvens.
Oh, yeah. Man, I tell you what, it's great to come in a station where they play stuff like this. You sure got it going on. Good stuff.
Been very fortunate, very blessed, and glad to have you guys in the neighborhood. The Malpass Brothers, we met at a Bluegrass Festival a dozen years ago.
Yes, sir.
And the Bluegrass audience that likes Third Time Out or the Radio Ramblers that grew up here in Ralph Stanley, they also like to hear songs by the Leuven Brothers or Johnny Cash or Farron Young or Marty Robbins, don't they?
Yes, sir. We try to tell folks we like to go back to the days of the Opry when you'd see, might see Bill Monroe walk out, and then after him, Hank Snow or Farron Young come out, hand in hand together. We're very traditional about our country music, and the Bluegrass audiences have been so kind to us.
Yeah.
I mean, just really good to us.
Like I said, the Bluegrass audience grafted you guys in just as soon as you made yourself available for that circuit. But you also get to play the Opry and several other country music venues. And we just played a hero for everybody that's ever picked a guitar and wrote a song, and that was Merle Haggard. And you guys started coming on strong as a traditional country duo while the Hag was still healthy and on tour, and you made a connection, didn't you?
We did. Yes, sir. We worked 7 years with Merle and recorded an album on his label, Hag Records, and he treated us like his kids. I think he saw that we were trying to keep traditional country music alive, and he believed in us and was very good to us. He was a great guy and one of my favorite singers of all time, really. Besides Taylor.
I knew that was coming.
You knew that was coming.
Well, yeah, got to be the GOAT.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to country, the whole package was there for him. His catalog of songs was endless. Loved them all, and his vocal captivated everybody in the American music landscape for 50 years.
And you think about it, I mean, it's true for a lot of artists, but Merle was doing the same thing. His hero was Lefty.
Yeah.
And he brought so much of Lefty to the table with him with his style, and I think I think he saw that with us. We were influenced by the Louvens and Marty and him, and we were, still trying to keep that music relevant in our music, and I think that's important, and that's the only way we're going to keep it alive.
Well, go back way before you ever dreamed of being on the stage with Merle Haggard. How'd you guys get started doing all this? Because I guess neither one of you's 40 yet, are you?
Well, I'm 38. I feel like I'm older than that some days. Well, Taylor, what do you?
It mostly started. We did a lot of churches back when we were kids. We did, and one time. Let's see, I started when I was 9, and you were then...
I was about 11, yeah. 11, 12, yeah.
And we were doing about 175 churches a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so every weekend we were...
Just a gospel duo?
Just gospel,
yes, sir.
Yeah. My dad played bass.
Dad played bass. Dad said if he was going to drive us, he was going to play something.
Yeah.
Play bass. And,
so we're doing traditional hymns and country hymns and stuff from the Louvens catalog?
Oh, yes, sir.
Anything else?
We started doing it, and we had been doing it for about a month. And my mom said, well, I don't know how long this is going to last, how long the music thing's going to stick with them. She said, so I want to record this, she said, in case it ends. And so we went in the studio, and a guy named Clyde Maddox was going to produce us, Super Grit Cowboy Band. I don't know if you've heard of them. And so he said he was going to come in and produce us, and he really liked what we did. And he said, I've got some stuff, some records I want you guys to listen to, and it was Leuven Brothers stuff. We had never heard them until we recorded that first record.
We heard that Leuven
and when
stuff.
we heard it, that was kind of what hooked us. And, and then from then on, Clyde went everywhere we went. He played with us for 20 years.
Yeah, we just traveled doing churches and wherever.
So mainly a gospel duo for the first
yes,
decade
sir.
or so.
Yes,
Really,
sir.
yes, sir.
After you guys got in high school and beyond, then you started digging into doing country stuff too?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, we kind of were introduced to the country stuff from from Leuven's. They had country stuff too, and then we got into Hank and Lefty, and it was just like, boy.
Why, yeah.
And people said, well, you knew there was other kind of music. And I said, yeah, I knew there was other kind of music, but we didn't care. When we heard this, it was like, this is it. I mean, this is, oh, man, it's good. It's just good music. It does something to you.
Yeah, and good music is timeless.
It is. It's timeless. Yes,
Timeless.
Sir.
And it's just staggering to think about. Hank Williams' catalog of music is among the greatest in recorded history, and it's been revamped and re-recorded through decades and decades. And the man only lived 29 years.
29 years.
Isn't that unreal?
And
that's unreal.
I was thinking about that the other day.
And yeah, it's that way, but a lot of those Leuven's, I mean, they were really only popular maybe together.
A decade.
A decade.
Yeah.
They
didn't hit to operate till about 55.
Yeah, and then Ira was gone.
And they split at 63, I think.
So, I mean, that's a short time to make such a
big
their
impact.
Songs are just so well written. And
yeah.
But the thing about all that old music with Hank, all that stuff was real life experiences. And I don't feel like anybody really writes from real life experiences anymore. That's what we hear on the radio now.
Yeah.
And I think that's why everybody still loves.
They lived fast, loved hard, and died young.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, right. And I mean,
Johnny Russell said in an interview one time, I was watching.
Who's really lived? Take me for a ride on my big green tractor.
Exactly. Yeah, nobody's really lived
I've
there.
never sat around and said, man, I'm going to write a song.
Well, Johnny Russell said they were sitting around one day and all the other artists were saying, well, we never did so-and-so like y'all. And he said, well, y'all get on a plane and get off at the date. He said, we rode in cars and everything. He said, y'all don't do nothing. It's
y'all
true,
don't do
Yeah,
nothing.
it's
Yeah.
just so different.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we all know George Jones' biography. And, you don't have to suffer from alcoholism, but when you come home at 3 in the morning, she stole all your clothes out in the front yard, you can sit and write a pretty good song,
You
can't
sure
you?
can, buddy. Oh, I mean, that stuff's golden. I mean, it does something to you when you hear it. It makes you feel something.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
well, for your generation, for you guys to grow up in the 90s and the early 2000s and discover all this music that was made 50 years before you was born and just go nuts over it and learn how to deliver it to audiences that either hadn't heard it in a long time but grew up loving it. You see a lot of that at bluegrass festivals.
Sir.
And I'm thankful that there's young, good-looking guys that'll go in front of people that have never heard of the Leuven Brothers or Marty Robbins or Farron Young or Johnny Russell, and you go out there and sing them songs, and then you get somebody else that likes what we like.
That's the main goal to what we do is to just keep it alive. We never set out to be stars. We know that's not even a thought, trying to be a star.
Oh, you're too old for that now.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the dang truth, ain't it? It's just you gotta love this to be in this business. We've talked about the hardships of it.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
but you guys have done a lot of the right things for the right reasons. You've carved out your niche. You've got a fan base. You've been accepted any place that will put quality traditional country on a stage. And you're getting ready to have an even bigger audience. I don't know all the details, but I know you're going to launch a program for RFD-TV real soon.
We are, yes, sir. May 25th, we've got a show that'll be coming on Saturday nights on RFD-TV, and it's going to be a traditional country show, kind of like the old Porter Wagner show, maybe kind of like Marty Stewart. We'll interview, and we'll do a couple songs, and our guest will be, we've had Gene Watson. We've just done 14 episodes so far, and we've had Gene and T. Graham Brown and Leona Williams, Mo Bandy.
You're going to have to get some bluegrass in there, boys.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. We've done the first 14, and then they let us slide into a little gospel. We had Mark Lowry and Jeff and Sherry Easter, so we're hoping when we go back in October. If you know any bands, Joe, do you know anybody? There's a band called Joe, the Radio Ramblers.
Yeah.
Joe, do you know him?
Yeah, I know their agent.
We'll try. No, seriously though, we'd love to have y'all.
Yeah.
If we do it, bluegrass goes hand in hand with what we do.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that I know the TV show will be a big success because you guys are real. You love the music and you know how to communicate with an audience.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
It'll be good. It'll be good.